How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. Now today we will be talking about Liverpool crashing out of the Champions League. Juventus defender Daniela Rugani has been tested positive for coronavirus, and the breaking news during the night that the possibility is that the Premier League will be played behind closed doors with immediate effect.
I represent my fucking self.
How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. That's right.
So the first place we're going to start, of course, was the Champions League action last night. Liverpool against Atletico Madrid, and Liverpool are out. Their defence of the Champions League is over. And looking at that game last night, I'll tell you something. How on earth did Liverpool not go through? How did they actually lose the game? I really have no idea. We all knew how Atletico Madrid were going to set up. We all knew what kind of game plan they were going to come with. But Liverpool were just unable to stop it. Now, they had the perfect start in the first half. A goal just before half-time. Wijnaldum with the header. And going in at half-time, 1-0 up, you're thinking, right, second half, facing the Kop. They were going to get that all-important second goal. And it would be a comfortable evening. And they done everything but score. The amount of chances they had. Firmino in particular was guilty of missing a lot of chances. The game went into extra time. And you were thinking, right, Atletico Madrid, all they want to do now is get to penalties. That is it. They were posing no form of threat when it came to attack. João Felix, in particular, was very, very disappointing, in my opinion. I was not impressed with him in any way, shape or form. But then Firmino, you feel, makes up for all of those misses during normal time. Scores to make it 2-0 to Liverpool in the 94th minute. Has a header that hits the post, comes back, reacts the quickest, 2-0. And at that time I was saying, do you know what? That's still a long time to go in the game. Atletico Madrid will now change their mindset. They will have to attack, and they do only need one goal because of the away goals rule. 97th minute, Llorente scores that goal, and then everything just went downhill for Liverpool. It was as though the stuffing got knocked out of them. Llorente then equalises in the 105th minute, and you're looking at that, and we get into half time of extra time, and you're thinking Liverpool could still turn this around. An early goal in the second period facing the Kop, and they only need one goal. But it just wasn't to be. And then right in the last minutes of extra time, Morata, of all people, races clear one-on-one, and he slots it in. And Atletico Madrid win 3-2, 4-2 on aggregate. And the one thing I will say about this is that you've got to look at the Liverpool goalkeeper. Of course, Alisson was not playing. He's injured. And effectively, what Liverpool have in goal is a man that was not even good enough for West Ham. And you wonder why. The first goal, the clearance, dreadful. Second goal, could he have done better? Possibly. The third goal, yes, his positioning was poor. Morata went near side, didn't even make it difficult for him. So yeah, it was not a good evening for Adrian. And it just shows the importance of a world-class goalkeeper. Because if Alisson was in goal, Liverpool would have probably gone through, and it's as simple as that. So Liverpool go crashing out, and that is it for them. All they have left now is the Premier League. The other game in the Champions League last night was PSG against Borussia Dortmund, played behind closed doors. And PSG won that game 2-0, and they go through. It was a bit of a strange game watching that, and the lack of atmosphere. Although the PSG ultras did try and create some sort of atmosphere outside of the stadium. Now, I was seeing reports that there were fans outside, and I was thinking, okay, maybe a couple of hundred and making a bit of noise. But then I see the images, and there was literally thousands, and I mean thousands, of PSG fans outside the stadium. Flares, firecrackers, all sorts. But yeah, it's kind of not really helping the coronavirus protocol, is it? And staying at home and self-containing in case you might have it and whatnot. But PSG, they're through to the quarterfinals, and it'd be interesting to see who they face in the next round, and it'd be interesting to see whether, you know, football actually is going ahead at that point, because that takes us into the next story, and that's Juventus defender Daniele Rugani, and he has been tested positive for coronavirus. Now, the effects of this and the knock-on effect, shall we say, Juventus played Inter Milan behind closed doors the other day, and I said about this, what's the point in playing games behind closed doors if one of the affected ends up being a player? Where's the protection? What's it going to do? You may as well suspend games completely. Now, of course, one of his teammates is Cristiano Ronaldo, and there's talk that he's in Portugal and he's refusing to come back until it's all sorted. Rugani himself has came out with a statement, and he says, yes, I have the coronavirus, but don't worry, now I'm fine. I urge you to respect the rules because this virus makes no distinctions. Let's do it for ourselves, for our loved ones, and for those around us. Inter Milan, who recently played Juventus in that behind closed doors game, they have suspended all activities completely, no training, nothing. And obviously their players will be getting tested for coronavirus. And the outbreak is absolutely huge. And the problem is real. And it looks very much like it will now take effect in the Premier League, because during the night, reports have surfaced that the Premier League are going to play games behind closed doors with immediate effect. And that will come into action today. And looking at some of the guidelines and what are being put out there, all football matches in England will be played behind closed doors under government plans to combat coronavirus that could be triggered as early as today. A meeting of the government's Cobra committee this morning is expected to move its response to the pandemic from contain phase to the delay phase. That will result in a crisis plan being unveiled for football. And this report comes from the Times. The current season will not be postponed, and instead matches in the Premier League and lower divisions will be moved behind closed doors. All Premier League season ticket holders and ticket holders for individual games will be able to stream coverage of matches into their homes. Wow. There we go. So yeah, the Premier League games this weekend, of course, Arsenal travelling to Brighton. And for myself, it doesn't look like that game will be going ahead for the fans anyway. And we will find out, obviously, today whether this, you know, comes true. But given the state of everywhere else at the moment and the fact that so many people are testing positive for coronavirus now, and even people well-known, celebrities, etc. Tom Hanks is one that's tested positive for coronavirus. So, you know, with all of these issues going on, it's pretty evident that the Premier League are just going to close doors. And, you know, if the cases get worse, if players in the Premier League test positive for coronavirus, then I feel you will start to see the suspension of the Premier League. But we're starting to follow suit by the looks of things. Games behind closed doors. And I think it's the right thing to do. It's not great. I'd love to be able to go to football. I'd love to be there to cheer on the lads and everything else, because it's what I do. But health becomes more important in this situation. And we're going to have to stick to the rules and the guidelines. So there we go. That is it for today's news. Like I said, Liverpool, they crash out. PSG progress. Daniele Rugani has the coronavirus. And it looks like the Premier League will be played behind closed doors. Listen, if you're new around here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure you smash a like on this video. I will see you lot tonight, where I do a live stream. We've got Manchester United playing. And of course, we've got Wolves playing in Olympiacos. So until then, I will see you lot soon. I'm out of here.